Diddy's legal team has officially withdrawn their appeal for bail, and reports indicate that he was seen crying upon realizing he will be spending the next 6 months in jail. Both his lawyers and fellow inmates are expressing serious concerns for his safety, suggesting that Diddy may be at risk of harming himself. Over the holidays, Diddy reportedly experienced a breakdown while incarcerated at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC. What do you make of these troubling reports? Could he really have had such a meltdown? I believe the reports are credible. Diddy is a man who has enjoyed immense wealth and luxury for many years, and now he finds himself in federal prison during what should be a festive holiday season. This is not someone who has spent significant time in custody. He is not a hardened criminal. The reality of spending Christmas, New Year's, and future holidays behind bars is likely weighing heavily on him, and it's not surprising that he has cracked under the pressure. You're absolutely right. The stark contrast between his previous lavish lifestyle and his current situation is jarring. When Diddy was first arrested, he was placed on suicide watch, indicating that authorities were closely monitoring his mental health. Recently, he reportedly asked guards to take him to the hospital for treatment, which raises further questions about his mental state. Is this something we should continue to monitor closely? Definitely. While we haven't seen him recently, reports from your colleague Elizabeth suggest that he appears to have lost weight and has developed more gray hair, indicating that the stress of his situation is taking a toll. It seems he may have expected to be released on bail, but after 3 separate bail applications were denied by different judges, the reality of his situation is finally sinking in. Diddy is now facing the prospect of being in custody until at least May 2025. And it's understandable that he is struggling to come to terms with this drastic change in his life. Diddy's life has drastically changed from flying on private jets and living in luxury homes in New York, Miami, and Los Angeles to being confined to a prison cell. He is missing out on family gatherings and holiday celebrations, which is a significant adjustment for someone who has always lived a life of privilege. We've even seen footage of him spending his birthday in prison, which must have been incredibly difficult for him. If Diddy ends up losing his case, he could face a life sentence. The reality of that possibility is likely weighing heavily on him, especially considering the allegations against him. Reports indicate that he has lost a considerable amount of weight in just a few months, and during a recent bail hearing, witnesses noted his gray hair and the absence of family support. Interestingly, during his latest court appearance, Diddy was brought in shortly after 2 p.m. There were initial expectations that his family, including his children, would be present, but only a smaller group showed up this time. Previously, all of Diddy's children attended, except for his youngest, Love, who is just 2 years old. This time, only Justin and Christian Combs were there, while Quincy, Delilah, Jesse, and Chance were notably absent. Even Diddy's mother was not in attendance, which adds to the sense of isolation he is experiencing. When Diddy entered the courtroom, he was wearing the standard MDC-issued jumpsuit, a stark reminder of his current reality. He appeared noticeably thinner, a clear indication of the toll that incarceration is taking on him. Just a few months ago, he was seen enjoying life in Central Park, but now he is facing the harsh conditions of federal detention. Recently, Judge Ain denied Diddy's request for bail for the 3rd time, citing concerns that he was harassing other inmates and using their phone privileges to contact witnesses. This has led to the conclusion that Diddy poses a threat to the victims involved in his case, making it unlikely that he will be released anytime soon. In his ruling, Judge Ain stated that the court found clear and convincing evidence that no conditions could reasonably assure the safety of the community. According to a report from the Daily Mail, a source close to Diddy revealed that spending the holidays behind bars was a nightmare for him. He reportedly had a meltdown in his cell and begged guards for medical attention, but they refused. Fortunately, he managed to calm himself down using meditation techniques he has been practicing while incarcerated. This isn't the first time Diddy's mental health has been called into question since his arrival at MDC. Initially, he was placed on suicide watch, a precautionary measure for inmates deemed at risk. Although his suicide watch was temporary, he was housed in a special protective unit for the first few weeks. Currently, he is in general population, where the majority of inmates reside, and it was during this time that he reportedly had his breakdown over the holidays. To complicate matters further, Diddy's legal team has confirmed the existence of the so-called freak-off tapes, which allegedly show him in sexual contact with minors. While Diddy's team claims that the individuals in the tapes are not minors and were not under the influence of drugs, this contradicts the accounts of numerous witnesses, including those who provided the tapes to the FBI. Diddy's defense argues that the videos demonstrate consensual sexual activity between adults in a long-term relationship, but the prosecution is likely to present a different narrative. The defense insists that the tapes do not depict any illegal activity, coercion, or drug use, arguing that the government is attempting to police non-conforming sexual behavior. This defense strategy suggests that they may not shy away from using the term freak-offs to describe the activities depicted in the videos, asserting that everything was consensual. Diddy's team is desperate to secure his release and has even proposed a $50 million bail package, which includes his $48 million Miami mansion as collateral. The proposed conditions for his release would involve round-the-clock monitoring, restrictions on internet and phone access, and surrendering passports. However, the government has deemed these conditions insufficient, citing the serious nature of the charges and the weight of the evidence against him. The prosecution has raised concerns about Diddy and his associates, allegedly attempting to tamper with witness testimony, which could significantly impact the outcome of his bail request. If these allegations are substantiated, it could tip the scales against him in the eyes of the judge. In terms of the strength of the arguments for and against bail, it seems that Diddy's legal team has made a commendable effort. However, the allegations of witness tampering could be a significant hurdle. Judges typically take such allegations very seriously, and this could influence their decision regarding bail. The stakes are incredibly high for Diddy. The U.S. Attorney's Office has a 98% conviction rate, and the few who do not get convicted often take plea deals. Diddy cannot afford to betray his associates, as doing so could put his life in danger. He is facing a daunting uphill battle, and the pressure is mounting. Former MDC inmate Larry Levine has expressed concerns for Diddy's safety, suggesting that inmates may target him to gain street credibility. The allegations against Diddy, particularly those involving minors, further complicate his situation. He is currently in protective custody for up to 23 hours a day, trying to avoid the general population. Breaking news from People magazine confirms that Diddy is indeed on suicide watch. Sources indicate that he is not receiving the same commissary privileges as other inmates, which adds to his isolation. The reality of his situation has hit him hard, and he is now facing the consequences of his actions. Former warden at MDC Cameron Lindsay has spoken out about the conditions at the facility, describing it as a place characterized by violence, overcrowding, and inadequate staffing. Without enough guards to ensure Diddy's safety, the risks he faces are significant. Lindsay referred to MDC as hell on earth, highlighting the dangers that come with being a high-profile inmate. Diddy is not the only famous inmate at MDC. Others like Sam Bankman-Fried, R. Kelly, and Ghislaine Maxwell have also been housed there. Diddy's fame makes him a target, and if he is indeed in the special housing unit, it is for his protection. The Special Housing Unit is a 24-hour lockdown facility designed to keep high-profile inmates safe from potential threats. Diddy's life has taken a dramatic turn from the luxury he once enjoyed. He was arrested at the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York City, known for its opulent suites and exceptional dining. Now, he is facing the harsh realities of life in a federal detention center, which is a complete culture shock for someone who has lived in such comfort. In conclusion, Diddy's current situation is dire. With the mounting allegations against him, the harsh realities of prison life, and the looming possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars, it's clear that he is living a nightmare he never imagined. The question now is whether he will survive the next 6 months, or if this will spiral into an even darker chapter in his life. What are your thoughts on Diddy's situation? Share your opinions in the comments below.